Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about limited companies. So the more legal side of things when it comes to like property management and essentially managing your investment properties in terms of the finance side. So limited companies, you've probably heard a bit about this or heard the term being thrown about. Probably thought, why do people do this? What exactly is the point? Well, today I'm going to talk you through exactly why people set up limited companies to manage their investment portfolio or investment properties. First of all, as a limited company, you're only liable or required to pay 19% corporation tax on your profits earned. Whereas if you buy properties under yourself as an individual, you're required to pay income tax on your profits or your earnings. So that could be up to 40% if you're a higher income earner. So already I'm sure you can see clearly the benefits of going limited rather than buying properties under your own name. Tax savings. Of course, this benefit in particular will be realised more by those in the higher income bracket because those are the people that will have to pay higher rates of tax. Whereas if you're somebody that pays the basic rate, which is 20%, you'll still only have to pay 20% income tax on the profits earned from your properties. So that's going to be pretty similar to the 19% corporation tax that you'd pay as a limited company. Okay, so that's the first advantage. Second advantage, you get certain allowances and tax reliefs that you will not get as an individual buying a property. So as a limited company, you're actually allowed to deduct the cost of running your business away from your profits before then paying corporation tax. So again, you're able to save a bit more in that way. Whereas if you're an individual buying properties under your own name, you do not get the same tax allowance or relief. Well, that's as of April this year, I believe. So previously you could claim some tax relief, but now as an individual, you can no longer claim this and you can only do this via a limited company. So that is the second advantage of setting up a limited company to manage your property business. And I believe that's a pretty big one as well. Now, the third advantage really goes hand in hand with the second in the sense that you're also able to claim your mortgage interest as an expense. So again, you're able to get some relief in that way. So you can deduct the interest that you're paying on your mortgage from your profits before you then pay corporation tax. So again, more savings for you as a limited company. Okay, so now that we've discussed the reasons for setting up a limited company to manage your property business, now we're going to get into how to actually go about setting up this limited company. All the things that you need to do to make sure that you are compliant and abiding by the law, as well as all the tax implications, all the bookkeeping that you may necessarily need to do, as well as setting up a limited company, because it's not just about setting up a company and just leaving it there. There are certain things that you're going to need to do each and every year to make sure that you are compliant and following the rules as set out by HMRC. Okay, so let's get into this. First thing that you need to do, nice and easy, you need to register your limited company. So how do you do this? You just go to the Companies House website and you just submit an application. It's pretty simple and can be done within 24 hours, okay? You can do this by yourself or you can enlist the help of an accountant to do this for you. But you can literally do this by yourself. It's really not a big deal, okay? So as I mentioned, you do this on the Companies House website. I'll include the link in the description box below just so that you can access that. Right, the second thing that you need to do, you need to set up your business bank account, okay? So it's very important that you have set up the limited company on Companies House first because you're going to need the company number as part of your application for a business bank account. So yeah, setting up a business bank account is pretty easy too, but it's a bit of a lengthier process if you do it online. I would advise that you go into your bank branch to get this sorted because then they can just do it in the one meeting and in one day rather than if you do it online, there's a bit more back and forth, I believe. Now the third and I believe most crucial stage is when it comes to your accounting and bookkeeping, okay? You need to make sure that this is in hand. You need to make sure that when it comes to taxation, legal side of things, paying your taxes on time, dealing with HMRC, you've got systems in place to do this properly. You need to keep on top of it. You need to be able to keep on top of legal news if you're going to be somebody that decides to do these processes by yourself. On the other hand, I would advise that you get an accountant to manage all this for you, okay? When I've set up my limited company, I've engaged with an accountant to do all my accounting for me just because it removes all that headache. I'm not an accountant. I'm not particularly good with those types of, methodologies and, those kind of principles essentially. So I believe it's definitely good to enlist the help of a professional to help you do this. So let's spend a little bit of time talking about exactly why you should get an accountant to deal with this aspect of things. I'm not going to advise about doing it by yourself because I have not personally gone down that route and I would not advise anybody to do so if you do not have an interest in accounting and to learn about all these areas of law and legal implications, okay? So anyway, why should you get an accountant to deal with your accounts for your limited company? Well, first of all, you are leaving the job to professionals, okay? This is their job day in and day out. It's part of their job to keep on top of changes in the legal world and taxation world, okay? So they'll know if something is coming and they'll know how to prepare you for it. That way you can avoid any problems with HMRC. I would also advise that when selecting your accountant, you definitely want to go with somebody by referral, okay? So don't just go on Google and search for accountants and just pick up the first person that you see, okay? You want to make sure that you get somebody that's going to be really interested in your case and in your business. You don't want someone that's just going to do like a quick half-hearted job, and by the end of it you've still got HMRC chasing you because you haven't done certain things. You want to make sure that you get an accountant who is professional and committed to their job and is committed to seeing you win, as well as seeing themselves win. So that's why I definitely say go by referral. Speak to family, friends, colleagues for referrals. If they have somebody that they're working with who does their accounts well, then you may also want to join their books and get on board with them. The second advantage of using accountants is that you're able to free up your time and essentially outsource parts of your business that you do not personally need to be doing by yourself, okay? So when I say free up your time, as a property investor, you probably want to be going out there looking for better deals, way to invest your money and bring in more money for yourself. You don't want to be spending your time doing things like accounts, especially if it's not your forte or area of interest. It's just a lot of work. So I'll give an example. So I've got an accountant who I completely trust. I do not need to get involved in terms of the account side of things, but he does like to bring me along the journey just to help improve my understanding. But the thing is, no matter how much he breaks certain things down, it just really goes over my head because it's just like, it's not my area. It's a bit overwhelming for me. So you can just imagine if I had to go and sit down and do all the accounts by myself, I just don't think I'd be able to cope, and I'll probably get into a lot of trouble with HMRC. So that's why I say it's really important to get an accountant, a professional, to do this work. The third advantage, no need to worry about all the different types of software that you need to do a proper accounting job. So like bookkeeping software, receipt software, you don't need to worry about that. Your accountant will have access to all these softwares on their side, so you don't need to think about those kind of things. That is all covered when you enlist the help of an accountant to do your accounts for your limited company. And now the fourth and final advantage of getting an accountant, you're essentially functioning like a business already if you get an accountant on board, okay? You're acting the way a business would. Within a business, you can't do everything. And even if you could, it's not the most efficient way of working or the best use of time. You want to outsource certain elements of your business to professionals who can do that and free up your time to do more things like bringing in more money and basically business development. This is especially important if you're trying to build a property portfolio. If you're trying to build a portfolio of properties, you need to have more time to be able to search for good deals that are available on the market. You don't want to be spending that time on doing accounting and a lot more admin type stuff that you really shouldn't be doing if you can outsource that work to professionals. So that is all the advantages of having an accountant to manage your accounts for your limited company. I do hope that you will choose this route, but if you don't, just make sure that you do thorough research and have a proper understanding of all the requirements to make sure that you keep in line with the law and are compliant. Right guys, so that brings me to the end of this week's video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Please do let me know down in the comment section if you feel like I've missed anything out in terms of any other advantages that you know of in terms of setting up a limited company. Please do also share if you feel that there are any more advantages in terms of having an accountant manage your accounts for you when setting up a limited company. I'd really love to know, and I'm sure others who are viewing this video would also love to know what those are. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.